I rushed through my husband's private messages and emails but found nothing, neither the call history nor the regular contact between them. But when I opened photos on my husband's phone, the first pictures made me collapse from shock. Hello everyone, I'm Claire, 29 years old. My husband is 1 year older than me. We had a 5-year-old son together. At this age, I'm quite lucky to have a happy marriage and a stable career. My husband is an office worker, and I work as a pharmaceutical representative. Because of the nature of the work, I have to go on business trips from 1 week to half a month. Because my son is still small, every time I go on a business trip, I have to ask someone to take care of my child. My biological mother is old and ill. My mother-in-law often feels uncomfortable every time I ask her to look after my son. I was often in a difficult position when I needed help. Luckily, my aunt from my hometown in the countryside has a daughter who just got accepted to a university in the city where we live. She asked us to let her daughter stay with us to save money because their family was quite poor, with the promise that her daughter was very hardworking and willing to help us with the housework. I was extremely happy to solve the problem of looking for a helper without knowing that this was the start of my family's troubles. My cousin Jasmine is a pretty girl who has just got into the prestigious Caltech University. She was very knowledgeable and hardworking as any people from a small town. Since joining the family, Jasmine has supported my family with a lot of housework. For that reason, every time I come back from a business trip, I bought her many gifts. Indeed, during the whole process of living together, I did not have any reason to be upset with her. My husband is by nature a good man, quiet, though not very handsome, but very resourceful. I'm not a good cook, so my husband often takes that responsibility. Ever since my cousin moved in, seeing the two of them cook together in the kitchen several times, I was happy that they could learn to be so close together. And because my husband's office is near our house, my husband comes home for lunch almost every day. Sometimes I did not see my husband and Jasmine had some unusual signs, but I never doubted them. Jasmine is my cousin, and I trust my husband so much. I was confident in our love and marriage, too. Nearly 1 year since the day my cousin came to live with us, I was still caught up in business trips away from home. Although I never doubted the relationship between my husband and my cousin, every time I returned, I felt that something had changed. Although during my business trips, my husband and I still made video calls very often. My husband had strong sexual needs. Previously, the frequency of us having sex was quite high, especially every time I came back from a business trip. The sex between us would be very passionate. But I gradually noticed and became suspicious because my husband recently pretended to be tired to avoid having sex with me, or just did it quickly rather than showing love. Every time I asked, he would reason that his work at the company was too busy and stressed lately. I talked to Jasmine about the worry that my husband was having an affair while his wife was away. I also asked her to help track my husband, and she was very enthusiastic about it. But I still didn't feel that was enough. I hired a detective to follow my husband to catch his wrongdoing during my business trips. During that week-long business trip, I was both under pressure from work and worried that when I returned, the detective would provide me with evidence that my husband had an affair with someone. But as the days passed, the evidence I received from the detective was just some pictures showing my husband coming home for lunch and then taking my cousin to the supermarket to buy food, or both of them bringing our son to the movies at night. Everything was normal. That time when I returned, even though my husband seemed to love me more than usual, I could still sense something was wrong. It was hard to believe that he wasn't having an affair with someone. I determined to hire the detective to keep watching my husband for a while longer. After 1 month of investigation, that detective suggested that my husband probably had an affair with my cousin. As soon as I heard that, I couldn't help but laugh. I thought that he was too suspicious, and he was going in the wrong direction. The detective tried to convince me that the evidence showed that my husband was most in contact with my cousin, almost 24/24, like husband and wife. If there was someone I should be jealous of, that would be Jasmine. My whole body was numb. Why was I so stupid? I didn't even have good cause and courage to question them because they acted very normal. I also just came to know that my cousin had a boyfriend too because she voluntarily shared that with me. If what the detective said was the truth, I wanted to die to avoid humiliation. With such jealousy and suspicion, I silently took a week off from work to watch my husband myself. At noon, when he was coming back to eat, I deliberately rushed into the house about 10 to 30 minutes after he came back to catch the two of them having sex together. But 3 times I did so, I just saw him sitting at lunch with my cousin washing dishes and my husband sleeping in the living room. I felt extremely inhibited. Although I hated being nosy, I had to find out the truth. My husband has a habit of charging his phone near our bed while showering every night, and that was my chance. Because he used an iPhone, I didn't dare to enter the wrong password too many times for fear of locking the phone. On the 3rd try of the week, I entered the correct password, which was our son's birthday. I rushed through my husband's private messages and emails, but found nothing, neither the call history nor the regular contact between them. Of course, they didn't need to call each other because they lived in the same house. I was so stupid, but I did not give up. When I opened the photo section of my husband's phone, the first photos made me collapse from shock. In my husband's phone, there were about 5 nude pictures of my cousin Jasmine. Can you imagine my feelings when my doubts were confirmed so nakedly and so heartbreakingly like that? I banged on the bathroom door, screaming for my husband to quickly come down to the living room. And I did not forget to curse my cousin all over the house, causing her to rush out from her private room in a daze, with no idea what was going on. When the 3 of us faced each other, I threw my husband's phone onto the couch, with naked pictures of my cousin desperately opening. Needless to say, the 2 of them were shocked. My husband hurriedly turned off his phone and tried to protect Jasmine, saying that things were not as I thought and that my cousin was innocent. Jasmine just gasped in surprise and kept asking how we got those pictures. What a joke! They were still acting stupid in front of me. I lost my patience with this scene of sobbing and begging for forgiveness, so I immediately kicked my cousin's ass out of the couch without giving her time to pack any belongings. I also cursed that she was a prankster and a home wrecker, causing curious neighbors to come out and see. Jasmine was too embarrassed, and she ran away in tears while I slammed the door shut in anger. At that moment, my husband ran to insist that I call Jasmine back. Can you imagine his shamelessness? But before I got any angrier, my husband revealed the truth behind these photos. He downloaded them, along with a few other photos, from a black website that he used to watch during my time away from home to satisfy his sexual desire. For some reason, Jasmine's photos showed up on the website, and my husband was curious, so he downloaded them for entertainment. At that moment, I didn't know what to believe anymore. Oh my God, what have I done to that poor girl? It's been more than a week since everything happened, and Jasmine still didn't try to go home or contact us. She must be too ashamed of what happened. She did not know her revealing photos were posted online by her boyfriend. In the meantime, my husband and I entered a cold war, of course, because I loathed him. But I'm worried about Jasmine. How can I explain to my aunt? And what if Jasmine did something stupid like killing herself? I will never forgive myself. Please help me.